Good morning. This is Developing Stories. My name is Remy Allen. The present administration in Ondo State will not shirk its responsibility of prioritizing the welfare of retired workers and residents of the state towards promoting their wellness and welfare. Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa said this while flagging off the payment of 1.4 billion naira gratuity arrears to pensioners who retired from the local government and primary school service in 2014. He noted that the initiative is aimed at clearing the backlog of unpaid entitlements and restoring confidence among retirees. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole has details of the event.
It was another moment of dreams come true as 2014 retirees from the local government and primary schools in Ondo State gathered to receive the arrears of their gratuities. The ceremony at the Cocoa Conference Hall of the Governor's Office in Akure was the platform to disburse the 1.4 billion naira to the senior citizens. Setting the tone, the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Amidu Takuro, praised the governor for introducing the pension saving initiative during his tenure as deputy governor, noting that it has made regular savings for gratuity payment possible.
We also made a vow that in every quarter we must make sure that we save good amount of money for the service of our pensioners in the State.
The head of service, Mr. Bayo Philip, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, Dr. Adeniro Ipuomola, commended the governor for his compassion and prioritization of pensioners' welfare despite other pressing developmental needs.
What you are doing today, sir, Your Excellency, is not just for this crop of officers that served the state meritoriously and retired and then went back home, hoping that one day somebody will pay their gratuity. We are not doing it for them alone, but we are doing it for all of us that are still in the service.
Governor Aiyedatiwa, who restated his dedication to sustain efforts that prioritize the welfare of every inhabitant of the state, noted that the current disbursement will rekindle hope among pensioners and reassure serving workers that their gratuities will be promptly paid after retirement.
The bulk payment for the 2014 set of pensioners we are flagging off further demonstrates our commitment to the welfare of the elderly and the vulnerable sections of our desire to adopt and religiously apply the year of exiting the public service as the only qualification for bulk payment is to make the payment process transparent, predictable, and to ensure that nobody is discriminated against on account of extrinsic considerations. Most times, our administration feels reluctant to list prompt payment of pension allowances and consequential adjustment thereon as achievements, because we believe strongly that payment of monthly pension and our constitutional duty.
The governor explained that the disbursement followed his administration's structured payment process, which uses the year of exit from public service as the sole qualification criterion to ensure fairness, transparency, and predictability.
Let me also inform you that some legal representative is next of kin of some workers of the local government service extraction who lost their lives in a fatal motor accident while an official journey to Ibadan in Oyo State will be handed checks for the terminal benefit of the 3 deceased staff as a way of ameliorating the pains of the sudden departure of their loved ones.
The chairman of the National Union of Pensioners in the state, Johnson Oshunyemi, lauded the governor for restoring dignity to retirees and rekindling their hope. Speaking with newsmen, the permanent secretary, Local Government Pension Transitional Department, Mercy Femi Idris, expressed delight over the milestone achievement under her watch, with special gratitude to Governor Aiyedatiwa.
Tarrying on this note, and that it will be the first time a permanent secretary will pay 2 batches, that is 2013 and 2014. Of course, I feel wonderful. Where we would have had challenges, that would have been in the past. After the verification exercise, you know, we now have a database. So what we did was to go through the associations, various associations, like you said, NUP, Association of Retired Teachers, those of the local government, those of Akure South headquarters, and what have you. And then they brought all the approval letters. And then we decided to match with what we have on ground. And that is how we came, you know, to the conclusion that ABC should be paid today.
The beneficiaries lauded the governor for fulfilling their long-awaited dreams.
I thank God for Mr. Governor that the Lord will continue to help him to pay others.
And magnanimously cleared our gratuity in bulk, not a piecemeal payment. So we appreciate God for using him for what he has done for the retired teachers, in particular in Ondo State.
Their senior citizens promised their continued support for the Aiyedatiwa administration. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
In a move that has finally decimated People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the southeast, Enugu State Governor Peter Mbah, his deputy Ifeanyi Osai, the cabinet, and the entire political structure in the state have dumped the opposition party for the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC). Governor Mbah thanked PDP, which gave him the platform to win the election in 2023, noting that leadership sometimes demands difficult and painful decisions in the service of higher principles and goals. Addressing a crowd of party faithful, National Chairman of APC, Nentawe Yilwada, welcomed the governor into the governing party, saying they are now in the soul and family of the Progressives, the APC. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who represented President Bola Tinubu, declared that the gale of defections by politicians from other political parties to APC had exposed the cracks in the camp of the opposition. He described the decision of the Enugu State Governor and his supporters an extraordinary endorsement of APC's collective vision. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government and Academic Staff Union of Universities to urgently return to the negotiating table to resolve ongoing disputes that led to the declaration of a 2-week warning strike by the union. It noted that ASU has described the strike a warning, but previous experiences show that such actions often degenerate into extended work stoppages. The House resolved to constitute an ad hoc committee to be chaired by the Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, to mediate in the crisis and ensure that striking lecturers return to the classrooms without further delay. ASU on Monday began a 2-week warning strike over the federal government's alleged failure to address long-standing issues, including the implementation of the 2009 ASU federal government agreement, revitalization funding, earned academic allowances, salary structure, and university autonomy. The Senate has urged the federal government to immediately begin diplomatic and humanitarian interventions to rescue and repatriate hundreds of Nigerian women and children languishing in Libyan prisons. The upper chamber's resolution followed a motion which drew attention to the harrowing experiences of Nigerians trapped in Libya's detention centers, many victims of trafficking, slavery, and slavery. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan moved an additional motion mandating the Nigerian Immigration Service and the Nigerian Correctional Service to work with Libyan authorities to fast-track the release of Nigerian female inmates and their children born in detention. Her motion, seconded by Senate Leader Okpeyemi Bamidele, received unanimous support. Akpoti-Uduaghan described the plight of the women, most of whom had been deceived by traffickers, promising lucrative jobs abroad, instead were forced into prostitution or slave labor and later imprisoned by Libyan authorities after attempting